Hey, Deserving listeners, Darcey and Stacey, let's watch.
I to meet up with Stacey, Florian, and Debbie and Rena to talk about the comments that Georgi may have said, because I want everybody to hash it out so everybody can get along. But Georgi's trying to defend himself, and it's making it worse.
So, according to what you're saying, Darcey, you wanted everyone to get together so you could, quote unquote, hash it out and get along. And a friend of a friend of a friend heard Georgi say some things that does not fit with any other evidence, that any other behavior that we've seen from him. And because Georgi is denying that he said such a thing, that's him being defensive, and the blame is on him that the fight is escalating. It's an interesting way of seeing the situation.
If you're adamant and that you never said it, can you say that to everybody?
I never said.
Okay, I mean, I just want to know, like, you know, this is for life. Is this what you really want?
So maybe a few months ago, he might have readily said yes, but now he would be stupid if he didn't have some kind of reservation about the relationship. I mean, to be constantly attacked for things that a friend of a friend of a friend said that are completely counter to everything you've been doing. You gave up your apartment, you gave up your job, you moved in with her, you proposed to her, and you're being constantly badgered about things that a friend of a friend of a friend said, and dealt with in a way that's like you're in middle school. Every one of these, you know, Darcey, Stacey, Deb, Rena, should all be like, well, we heard from a friend of a friend of a friend. We can't really depend on that, right? We can all agree that that's not a slam dunk evidence, piece of evidence there. So, but they're not doing that. So anyway, and this isn't the first time. Darcey has exhibited her paranoia around relationships, which she has for good reason. Darcey does not wake up in the morning and decide she wants to be a jerk face. She has traumas that I think go way beyond anything that we could imagine from seeing the show. And she acts that out and is very scared, and she's very convinced of her fear. She has a hard time differentiating between perceived threats and actual threats. And so she attacks Georgi. And so anyway, they're getting to the heart of the matter, which is better than what they've been doing. They're just, look, we just want to know if this is forever, if you're into Darcey forever. Because if you are, then great. And if you're not, then get out. Instead of, you know, a friend of a friend of a friend, how about just, you know, hey, is this forever? Now, he could say yes. How is he going to convince you? There's no way he can convince you. There's no way anyone convince anyone. I mean, me and my wife, for example, we know for the most part that we're going to be together for, you know, and that we want to be together for the rest of our lives. But how do I really know when my wife says she wants to be with me the rest of her life? How do I really know? I don't. I can't read her mind. I just have to take a guess based on all the information before me, and also hold out for the fact that maybe it won't work out. I can't know that. That's just life. We can't know what's in someone else's mind. We can't know what the future holds. We can't know if someone's going to change their mind, and we have to be okay with that, at least kind of. Now, I'm not excited about it in the same way that, you know, I have 2 dogs and a cat, and they're likely going to die before I do. I don't want to think about that, but I have to accept that that's likely going to happen. And if I don't accept it, then it's going to be a lot harder to adjust. So for Darcey, she, as many people with these kinds of traumas, she has a really hard time accepting this notion that she just doesn't know, and she can't know, given that they've only been together for a year or so. And you just have to be okay with that. You just have to say, well, he could be playing me. He could be in it just for the money. He could leave me one day. I don't know. There's no way for me to know. I'd have to have a crystal ball, look into the future. There's no way to do that. But instead of accepting that, you know, part of life, there's a effort of control, of I am going to control this. I'm going to test him. I'm going to go on a witch hunt. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to accuse and hope that he, right. I think that's what Darcey and Stacey are doing, is accuse, hoping that he will continue to show that he is into it. But you do that enough, you push someone away, and then you've really lost them.
Of course, if I don't want her, I'm gonna be here with her. Because I love Darcey and I'm here for only reason.
You're not going to walk away from her when things get tough. You're vowing right here, right now.
They've been tough for the last month since together. So that's why I'm trying to work on the stuff.
Yes, it's a very good comeback from Georgi. So you're not going to leave when times get tough. From Stacey's standpoint, that's money. But from Georgi's standpoint, he's like, it's been tough the past month. Are you kidding me? Like, it has been really tough on me this past month. The fact that I'm still here should definitely say something.
Of course I love her. Do you know why I love her? Because she's a strong person. And even if she's gonna go broke tomorrow, she's strong enough to get up and keep going. I don't care what you have, because to have the mind to keep going, to don't give up even if you don't have anything, that's what I'm looking for.
Now, I think part of the problem, I wouldn't say that Georgi is to blame, but I think a factor is that he is reserved, and I think that helps actually in fights like this, that he just doesn't say much, because if he says, because other people, when they say things, when they're heated, they make mistakes. So I was worried that they were going to have this conversation and Georgi would be very subdued and short of sentence, but instead he's really delivering this moment. And I just can't. I don't think this is going to work, because Darcey has continually not allowed things to work. Now, as I always say, I have no idea what's really going on in the relationship. We only are presented with what we're presented with. But if what we're presented with is any reflection of their relationship, I just don't see this working, because Georgi has risen to the occasion time and time again, and Darcey seems completely convinced of a problem that doesn't seem to exist.
Yeah. I just felt good vibes from Georgi tonight. Like, he was like real, and I didn't expect that.
Why didn't you expect it? Because you heard from a friend of a friend of a friend that he said these really strange things? And are you going to apologize for accusing him of something that he never said, of listening to a friend of a friend of a friend and acting like a 13-year-old? Are you going to apologize for that?
They to rest, and we're going to get to know the love of Darcey's life. So, Georgi, if you didn't say it, if you didn't call us that, then I take back everything I said, and I apologize. Okay, accept my apology, Georgi. Because if you did not say it, I believe you.
Give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this person's lying to me.
It's the first time it occurred to you that maybe either someone's lying, or they just got it wrong, or it was a game of telephone. Like, this is the first time it occurred to you that maybe a friend of a friend of a friend isn't an accurate depiction of reality. But I will, commend them for apologizing. I didn't expect him to do it. I expect, because Darcey doesn't usually apologize, Stacey doesn't apologize. So let's see if they apologize as well.
Agreeing that I never say these words. That's what I always wanted. For them to accept me, to see who I am.
This night has actually made me really see a new you. And I respect this Georgi.
Thank you.
This Georgi, I'm trying to figure out what contrast Georgi they're contrasting with. What evil Georgi is there? Another version of Georgi. Georgi has been nice. He has been kind. He has been patient. He has been forgiving. He has been. If he truly is into the relationship, there is a possibility that he's not into the relationship and he is in it just for some other reason. But if he's in it for real reasons, he has turned the other cheek. He has rolled over. He has bent over backwards. He's done all the metaphors to make this relationship work and not participate in the accusations and the hostility and the unfairness. So now Stacey obviously knows Georgi a billion times better than I would. So maybe there's this other version of Georgi that we haven't seen.
I feel like tonight ended up in a positive direction. I don't feel like I'm caught in the middle anymore. I'm actually very grateful to be sitting here right now and feeling your love and your openness. And this is what I've been wanting for a long time, and I'm glad we're getting somewhere.
I'm glad that we're finally getting somewhere. You've always been there. You were the one who was being unfair, according to what we've seen. You were the one who was going afield from the relationship. You were the one accusing. You were the one being the jerk face. So, but their narrative is, oh, I'm glad that he's finally come around. What is happening? Now, I've had hypotheses as to why this is happening. One is that Darcey is, traumatized and sees things that don't exist. That happens for all of us. Particularly if we've been abandoned or abused, we will absolutely transfer or displace those images from the past onto current images, whether it applies or not. Sometimes we'll even find people that agree with our projections. Like with Jesse, you could say that was true. So that's a possibility. But why would the others participate in it? Maybe they're convinced from what Darcey says behind the scenes of like, oh, you don't understand. He's so reserved. He's a snake in the grass, this kind of thing. So that's one hypothesis. The other hypothesis is that Stacey and maybe the friends are interested in subconsciously or even consciously trying to sabotage Darcey's relationship. Over the seasons, there has been a competition between Darcey and Stacey. Whenever one's doing well, the other one feels bad about themselves and will sometimes even overtly attack the other person and try to sabotage it. Stacey seems like she wouldn't do that, but who knows? I don't want to think that would happen, but again, who knows? It certainly would explain, and then they influence Darcey in that way. The other hypothesis is that we just don't know what Georgi is really like, and there's all these other data that we just don't have access to, and it would explain why they would be so suspicious of him. I'm trying to think of another reason. Well, another reason might be Darcey and Stacey are used to triangulation. When we feel threat in our relationships, sometimes we will resort to triangulating. We'll scapegoat a third to bring us closer together. Darcey and Stacey might have a long-standing practice of when they need closeness, they will scapegoat someone else and draw them together. Maybe Florian was that person before, and maybe now it's Georgi. Another hypothesis that just pops into my mind is that they have some kind of, some kind of addiction or something, some sort of compulsion that requires chaos, that requires some sort of, I don't know, I feel really shaky. Maybe we'll see more data as we move forward, and I can expand on that. If not, then I won't expand on it. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.